back to this semester. I hope we have a lot of fun. I think we have a lot of good speakers coming up. And hello to everybody at World Campus. Dr. Coy, you had something to say real quick?
Last year we did a second program in Junior Achievement. If you're not familiar with Junior Achievement, they've got a program where they go into grade school all the way up through high school, and they teach students about business, just basic general business topics, because they don't get a lot of that, especially in high schools, or at least I don't remember much of that back when I was in high school, other than a little accounting of something elective or something like that. So they go in and they teach business concepts to younger children to at least get it in their mind and get them some exposure to it, so that they, as you're aware, all of it's pretty important. So one of their high school programs is called the Titan program, and last spring semester we did a Titan program for Junior Achievement. We brought teams of high school students out here, some of the better high school students in the area and a little beyond the area, and they competed. It's a computer simulation game. So they learned some basic business concepts in about 6 different areas, and we teach them that over like a 3-hour. There's like 3 sessions, and what we're looking for is volunteers. Eric did it last spring with us. Max did it with us last spring. We had a pretty good time. You don't have to do anything for 3 hours. Usually what we did was it was broken down into 3 sections, and 2 people were each section. And we did it that way, and everybody got to say a little something, and nobody had to be out there really long. And I'm off to the side in case I need to jump out there and say anything. And then after the 3 hours of doing that, they have a lunch, and then they do the computer simulation. And so we're looking for some volunteers to do it again. I think Max will be doing it again, and Eric has mentioned that he'll be doing it again. So if you want to talk to those guys and see how it went and maybe volunteer. Another good thing for you, you don't have to be there. It's an all-day event for us, but you don't have to be there all day. You just have to be there for your little portion. You're more than welcome to come back and have lunch with all the students and all of us if your schedule allows. We're looking at a Friday. We're going to definitely be doing it on a Friday. We have about 4 or 5 dates at the end of March and beginning of February. We haven't nailed down yet. So that's when we're looking to do it. I don't need any yeses or anything like that now, but if you want to talk to these guys about it and see what it was like, and please feel free to ask me any questions if you'd like. They have my contact. My last name's Coy. I'm one of the newer professors here. And as an added bonus, Junior Achievement is an international organization, and volunteering for them is a good line on your resume as well. So I appreciate the time.
All right, now I'd like Richard Kelly to come up, say a few words about what he does, and then after that have each of our committee members and officers say a little thing about what they do too.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Richard Kelly. I'm the Vice President of FMA. My duties usually include heading up any initiative that doesn't really fit into the direct line of what any other officer does. I also serve in any absence of Max here. And I'm also in charge of recruitment for committees. We have committees for each one of our, we have like a subsection of vice presidents. So if anyone in here is interested in being on a committee, we have sign-up sheets at the end of the presentation today. If you're interested, talk to Max, myself, any of the VPs of the committees, sign up, put your contact information, and we'll get you guys involved. That's really all I have. We want to start rolling through the VPs of our different committees. Billy, you want?
Sure.
Hi, I'm Billy, and I'm the VP of Programs. And what the Program Committee does is we secure guest speakers for the events that we hold. We do other various things like coordinating club representation at special events that Penn State Behrend may have. So we are represented there, and that we get our club out there, so we're recognized, you know. We also arrange field trips, so we get to go to interesting places. Last semester we got to go to Erie Insurance, and Dr. Filbeck likes to coordinate a lot of other field trips for finance majors as well, so that's another thing that we do. We coordinate community service participation as well, because we want to be giving back to the community, and we also develop programs for the entire semester in advance. So that's what you would be doing if you are part of the program committee.
Can I just stand if you want me to walk in the front? It'd be great if you could, because the whole campus. Otherwise, you're a boss.
Hello, everybody. I'm Andrew Bazzelli. I'm VP of Networking, and basically what I do is we run some social events for our group, and we can either do that just with us running social groups or social events, or we can tag along with other organizations at Penn State and have social events there. We also are in charge of networking, so we keep in touch with alumni, run events with them, and we also fundraise to raise money so we can get pizza and have a great committee or a great organization. That's about it.
All right, hi everyone. I'm Kylie Ransbury. I'm the VP of Promotions, and what I basically do is promote the club. I also have to do some maintenance with the websites we have. I basically promote the club through emails, org sync, any special events we're having, which we are having a recruiting event coming up soon, so watch out for that. So you will be helping me with promoting the club and everything that comes with it. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Frank Shell, the Vice President of Membership. Before I get into the committee, I want to talk about dues. I'm not sure if Max, I was out for a second. Dues, there's 3 different things that we would like you to be a part of to get the full experience out of FMA. First is the local dues. Because it's already the second semester, before if you paid $15, you got the whole year, and that will be continuing until next year, your whole career. But for right now, for the semester, for local dues, it's just $10, and that gets you, extra credit, gets you your pizza, gets you, these interviews and everything else. But on a national level, if you want to be able to put this on your resume for FMA, you're going to have to pay the national dues, which is $40, and then Honor Society, which is an additional $5. Because when you go to get like an interview, these companies are going to look into it, like, oh, it says on your resume that you're an FMA, but you're not an FMA. Like, you paid your local dues, but you're not actually on the real association. So if you want to get with me, pay the local dues, and then, when you have time, pay the national dues and get the Honor Society. In addition, with the Honor Society, when you pay that additional $5, that automatically does your local dues too. But with the committee, you would just be helping me get people to pay their dues and things along that nature. So, and then also for the committee, it talks about making a brochure if anyone's creative and knows how to, get people's attention and make things look pretty. And you're interested along that line too, then yeah, definitely join up the committee. Thank you.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. I'm Greg Filbeck, and for the folks out on World Campus, it's good to connect with you guys, and we're thrilled you're here. So our guest speaker got sick this morning, so he's not able to be here. So we have altered our presentation for tonight. So we're going to be doing 2 things. So one, I'm going to go through and I want to overview a little bit about our finance program, and particularly talk to you about some of the certificate programs you may not be aware of. So we have a finance major. That major is offered here residentially at Behrend, and it is also offered through World Campus. We also have a minor, and we have basically 6 certificate programs that are associated with our finance program. Then, as you know, our big marquee event tonight that's taking place is our Finance Speakers Series panel discussion, Investing in 2016. And we're going to have our 3 outside panelists. 2 are already here, and I'm going to introduce them after I finish up with the presentation. And I'm going to have them talk just for a little bit, kind of just, if you will, give you a little teaser about kind of what their big findings are in terms of what they think are the markets are headed in 2016. And also ask them if they would share with you guys a little bit of what they think is some of the best resources for financial information. So obviously, as we're sitting here talking about things that are going to be going on in the marketplace, you guys keep up with the markets as you move through your classes and stuff. But what are some good places for you, to get information that is really critical and valuable for you from a finance standpoint? So they're going to do a little bit about that. Once again, just a little bit of background. I serve as the Associate Director for the Black School of Business. I'm the Department Chair for Finance and Economics, and I hold an endowed professorship here. I've been here since 2006. I love our program, and I'm so excited about the great things that are going on. And I hope you can pick up on that enthusiasm through the numerous mailings that I sent you throughout the semester, trying to keep you abreast of all the activities. I think without a doubt we are the most active major on campus in terms of activities and opportunities for you to not only get some great hear some great speakers, to be able to be involved in some great professional events, but hopefully in terms of the breadth of different types of activities that are going on. So for example, Billy mentioned the field trips. We've got one that we're in the process of finalizing right now with FMC Technologies here in Erie. We're going to be doing a field trip probably April the 11th or April 15th. That's in addition to opportunities to go down to Pittsburgh for some of the CFA Society Pittsburgh meetings. Dr. Jeff Coy talking to you about the Titan program associated with junior achievement, and that's in addition to all of our speakers that we have throughout the semester. So we're very active. Just a little bit about our major. It may be of interest to you to note that, here in 2016, this major has only been around for 14 years. We are one of the newest majors in the Black School of Business, and yet we are the largest major in business, and we're the second largest on campus. So the latest census count, now get a load of this, the latest census account between our World Campus students and our residential program, we have 185 people in the junior and senior class majoring in finance. And we have in the pre-major status through World Campus, or among the freshmen and sophomores here at Behrend that have indicated finance as one of their top 3 major preferences, we have an additional 250 people in the queue. Our major is exploding, and we're very, very excited about that. So for those of you who are interested in this major, when majors get larger and we have more and more folks coming into the major, it means more and more opportunities, more and more class offerings, and again, the program just benefits and grows as a result of that. Last year, we graduated 60 finance majors out of the senior class. We have 8 full-time faculty members. We'll have a brand new faculty member joining in the fall, so there's going to be an announcement coming about that within the next month, and we're hopeful to be able to grow by a couple more faculty members in the next couple of years. So what I think makes our program really special is the fact that we really do try to think very strategically about what our mission is and what we're trying to do. And that mission is really fourfold in nature. And in each of these areas, we not only support it with the fact that with some national association connections, but we also have certificate programs for students who have interest in areas tangentially related to it. So I want to mention first that with the CFA Institute, we are a university recognized program. There are 250 finance programs in the entire world that are considered to be a university recognized program. We are one of those 250 universities. Pitt and Behrend and Rutgers are the only 3 in the state of Pennsylvania. And to add to our glory with this, our World Campus Finance major is now a university recognized program. We just got notification right before the holidays, making us the first online delivered finance program in the world to be recognized by the CFA Institute. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what that means, but we are able to offer 5 scholarships for seniors that will cover their registration costs for the CFA exam. We have a weekly program that's taking place with our level 1 candidates. They're meeting every Wednesday at 3:05, and they will be meeting throughout the entire spring semester to get ready for the CFA exam. On average, a level 1 candidate will study in excess of 300 hours in preparation for that exam. It's a very rigorous exam. Lots of work goes into that. I think the average study time actually is now exceeded, so I think it's 408 hours in the last survey that takes place. We have been, over the last 3 years, our pass rate among our candidates has been about 65%. The national average is about 38%. So we're going up against people that are already in industry, that are taking the first level of the designation, and we've been very, very successful with that. We also, just to mention, we are the only university in Northwest Pennsylvania, and we're the only school in the Penn State system that is a part of the CFP Board Certified Financial Planner Certificate Program. We actually have our another student organization that started in finance, the FPA. You're going to be receiving information on that. but it's one of about 200 programs internationally as well. So that's another distinction that we hold. For those of you who are interested in corporate finance, we got a certificate program that the accounting department has launched in controllership. So I'm going to show you some information on that. But we also have joint projects that we do with the manufacturing and the plastics engineering programs here at Behrend, which is unique. We've got national attention for that. We've actually appeared in Nation's Business magazine. We're about one of 5 programs nationally that has this interactive team-based environment with engineers. For those of you interested in financial institutions, banking, insurance as well, that's the 4th area where we tend to have our majors tend to go. I don't want to put you on the spot, but Natalie and Sanjay just were named co-presidents associated with the Student Managed Fund. We are managing now, what's our total? $250,000. And so this Intrury Family Student Managed Fund is managed through the Finance 461 class. It is something that as first year, second year, third year students, you can get involved in. We've got an associate analyst program, so this is something that's expanded. You'll be seeing information. You saw some information last semester on this, but it's a chance for you to be able to get involved and to be able to be a part of that student managed fund. We also have the Alumni Task Force. Eric, you want to just say something real quick about how that went today?
Yeah, perfect. So I had the opportunity, Bruce Gray, he's a guy that works in New York City for the Bank of America Merrill Lynch Corporation, and he meets with us bi-weekly. And so a couple talking points that we talked about today is that he was talking about how he feels a lot of investors, maybe young investors, but also experienced investors, feel like the market's really negative right now. And they're worried to go into making investments or things like that. And he wanted to remind us that there's actually no ideal time really to go into investments except for now, right? There's not going to be like a time where it's like, all right, now that you put all your money in the bank, now put it in the investments. And so what he's doing is he's changing the structure of our meetings. We're going to be talking a lot about like different techniques, maybe trying to expose different sectors that might be good during a time like this. A lot of different articles and current events as well. And so we do meet every other Wednesday at noon. And if you guys can just take like 10 seconds to think of your course schedules. Is there anyone that would like to come that is unable to come Wednesdays at noon? You guys are unable to come? All right, so what we'll plan on doing is we plan on sending out a doodle poll. And we'd like a really quick response on this because today we also had a gentleman call in from another guy from New York from another bank that's based out of Pittsburgh, BNY Mellon, I think. Yeah. He called in from BNY Mellon, and he actually graduated Ryan. Okay. And so he's part of a leadership development program, and I want you guys to be able to get the opportunity to come. And so we'll send out a doodle poll, and if you guys can quickly respond by next Tuesday when we send that out, we'll be sure to make a time that works for all of us so you guys can come. So.
Yeah, so Bruce Gray was named one of 19 outstanding alumni fellows for all of the Penn State system this past year. He has been a gracious supporter of our program, and this is a wonderful opportunity. He does such great work. He calls in from the Bank of America every other week in broadcasts. And Ryan Knoll is a graduate. He actually completed a honors program here in 2013. And for those of you interested in working on research with faculty, he, Jessica Jow, and I just got a publication in the Quarterly Review of Finance and Economics, which is a very, very good academic journal. And we're very excited about about his work. I mean, basically what he did initially as a part of his student thesis going forward with that. I mentioned we have certificate programs. We also have competitions that are taking place. The Investment Research Challenge competition is coming up at the end of February. We have a team that has been working very diligently on evaluation for Dick's Sporting Goods, and we're going to win this year. So we're very excited about that. When they win, we're going to be going to Chicago in April to be able to compete at the regional competition. So we're going to be going up against 7 universities. And a little note for the World Campus students, next year we will have a Penn State World Campus team. Now that we're a university recognized program, we'll be doing something virtually, so you guys will be able to compete in those competitions as well. We competed in Engage in Detroit this past year. We also have a financial planning competition going on, which is sponsored by the CFA Society of Pittsburgh. There are 20 universities that are involved in that, and last year we took 3rd and 6th place for the best financial plans, and the OPEN Business Plan competition and the Erie Innovation competition for those of you who are interested in entrepreneurship, are coming up in April. So I mentioned about the CFA Institute University Recognition Program. We're very excited about that. There's some verbiage associated with that. And I also mentioned a little bit about the CFA program. It is the world's largest designation in business. 215,000 people in 140 countries took the CFA exam, one of the three levels of the CFA exam this past year. It is twice as big as the second largest designation in the world. It passed the CPA several years ago. But this, if you look at this, this is a golden ticket for those of you who want to go to portfolio management and financial analysis. The average salary without the CFA designation is about $120,000 after 7 years of experience. With the CFA designation, the numbers are now about $200,000 in terms of salary. So folks that are involved in this profession tend to do quite well. It's a 3-year program. As I mentioned, we get you ready. We get you going with level 1 of the CFA exam. We have at level 2, we have an alumni who is basically leading a virtual level 2 group with other alumni from Behrend. And so that's taking place. And then we have level 3 candidates actually that are out there for alumni as well. So this is great. We'll give you chances to go down to Pittsburgh for CFA Society of Pittsburgh meetings. I'm president of that 500 member organization, which I'll just mention, won the International Award for Best Superior Society for our size in the world, and we were able to receive that award in Hong Kong back in September. I also want to mention the Certificate in Financial Planning. I'm going to show you very quickly across these different certificate programs so you can get some sense of what they look like. But what I want to mention with this is that since our program is certified either through World Campus, which is a separate certification, or through Behrend, if you take the courses associated with the Certificate in Financial Planning, you have met the educational requirements to set for the CFP exam. That's critical because there are about 7,000 people a year that take the CFP exam internationally, but there are 33,000 people that are trying to take the academic credits to be able to qualify for to set for the CFP exam. So what ends up happening is people want to become a CFP charter holder, but ultimately have to go back and take all these classes in advance. If you take the classes here, you can set right after graduation for that exam, which is really neat and something we're very, very proud of. Rick Hedrick heads up that aspect of our curriculum, and he's there to answer questions. I want to mention that if you look at these classes that are offered across these different certificate programs, you're going to see some overlap. Here's the deal with the Penn State program. You declare a major, you can add a concurrent major. You can declare a minor. You can do all of that online. But if you want any of these certificates, many of you, by virtue of the courses you're going to take as a part of being a Penn State student, will satisfy these requirements. But unless you fill out the paperwork and turn it into the registrar's office, you'll not be recognized. And I want you to look at what some of these certificate programs look like, because ultimately, if you think about garnishes on your resume to make things look really nice and geared towards an area that you're interested in, you're going to see overlaps in terms of the finance curriculum that you're taking, and it's specialized, though, towards the different areas of interest. You'll notice in the Certificate for Financial Planning, if you look at this, Finance 420 is required for the major, and then you have to take 2 400-level electives in order to graduate. Well, there's 3 sitting right there. So right there, you're looking at a plan of action that will not only get you towards the major, but also get you towards the certificate. We have a financial services sales certificate as well. Not everybody likes to or wants to go into the analytical aspects of financial planning, but they love the financial sales aspect of things. And we have a certificate program that we actually team up with over with folks from HS&S in terms of being able to take psychology-based courses, marketing-based courses, and then to get your core financial education. So if you have friends that are intrigued by the financial markets, but they say, well, I really don't want to be a business major, this is a perfect major for them. If you look at these course offerings, you got psychology class, interpersonal communications, personal selling. These are type of classes that if anybody's going to be going into the financial services area, that along with your financial background would be very helpful. The FRM, or Financial Risk Manager designation, we have the certificate program that will get you ready for the first level of the FRM designation. In finance, the FRM designation is the second largest designation in finance. 33,000 people took one of the 2 parts of the FRM exam last year. And with this, what you're looking at is a major that will go across basically math and stats and also finance, get into a little bit of economics as well as you look at a certificate program that will prepare you. Now, if you look at the sort of courses, you're seeing upper division statistics courses and finance courses as a basis for being able to earn this risk management certificate. So if you'll notice our analytical side of our curriculum, the derivatives and portfolio management that many of you would take if you're kind of going the analyst route, fits in very nicely. Finance 420 is required, and you'll notice you're picking up a couple of additional statistics and econometrics courses to be able to get ready for risk management. And this will get you ready for the FRM exam. Also, I want to mention we work with the math and stats department to be able to get you ready for the first 2 exams for the Society of Actuaries. So if any of you are interested in becoming an actuary, it was ranked as the #1 satisfaction survey for careers, is consistently ranked #1. Again, highly analytical. We don't have an actuarial science major here at Behrend, but we can get you through the first 2 of the exam sequences that you need to be competitive. We met with Erie Insurance a couple of years ago and lined up this certificate program. Interestingly, Erie Insurance has the largest number of actuaries, about 40, anywhere between Philadelphia and Chicago. So we've got right in our own backyard hotbed of actuarial opportunities that would exist. We also have a financial controllership certificate that the accounting program launched this past year. And when you look at these courses, we have about 15% of our students double majoring in finance and accounting, and look at the course offerings, those double majors of you. If you look at this, you're basically looking at what most of you are going to walk out with anyway as a part of a double major in finance and accounting. So I want to mention that one as well. Does anybody have any questions about any of these certificates? The last one is the entrepreneurship certificate, which kind of goes across marketing, management, and finance as well, if any of you are looking to start your own business. We've got an entrepreneurship club too that we can get you in touch with. Do you all have any questions about any of our programs, anything that we have offering wise? I know it's a little bit overwhelming when you see all these different opportunities. Many of you that are underclassmen, my gosh, seize these opportunities to get involved. And for those of you who will be graduating this year, don't forget to fill out your forms if you've met these requirements. I wanted to show you a profile real quick of one of our recent graduates. This is AJ Pinto, which some of you may know. What we're really trying to do here at the Black School of Business is we're trying to get you ready from a professional development standpoint to be able to hit the ground running and to land that job of your dreams. And what we want you to do is to be able to create a really impressive vita of your experiences that you've had, chances to take leadership roles and to really get involved. AJ was here from 2010 to 2014 in the Penn State system. He actually transferred back from University Park for our finance program. So he started down at UP and he wanted to come back here. He ended up basically in the major with a 4.0. He was named the outstanding graduate a couple of years ago. He took the Bloomberg aptitude test. He was in the 90th percentile. He was captain of the investment research challenge team. He was president, chief strategist for the student managed fund while he was here. He picked up all of this information, or these activities, while serving as a intern co-op program over at GE. He was originally hired as a part of the FMP program through GE and went to Connecticut. He was interested in doing that. In fact, what we know is of the Fortune 500. If we look at Fortune 500 companies, 43 of the CFOs started as a part of that program. And then he decided he wanted to go into investment banking, and he's now employed full-time with Credit Suisse in New York City as an investment in the investment banking realm. This is how you do it. I mean, you take advantage of these opportunities, you do well in your classes, and you get involved. I mean, there's just great opportunities out there. And again, I use him as one. I could probably pick out 100 people that have graduated from this program that have done wonderful things. But building that resume, getting involved is really important. Can I answer any questions for you guys about our program? Yeah?
How long does it take for, like, when you submit us, like, for you get a certificate, how long does that take to hear back from?
If you've got all the paperwork in, you just basically, so the question is, if you submit to be for one of the certificate programs, what happens. Basically, if you've got everything done, everything gets signed off on, it's automatic. I mean, I don't know, the registrar's office will probably contact you to confirm it, but basically it's a done deal at that point. And then you would receive the certificate as you move through graduation. It will be there, and you can list that on your resume. So, and it's unfortunate because a lot of people graduate and have completed the classes and just never fill out the paperwork. So you might as well get them because they're out there. And we basically have, I'm not bragging on our program, we have 14 certificate, or we have 12 certificate programs in Black School of Business, and finance is associated with 6 of those. So we're very, very active with these certificate programs. Any other questions? Okay, at this point, I would like to introduce a couple of our panelists that are going to be here, and Adam Nelson is going to be coming in here hopefully in a few minutes as well. And again, I just want them to spend a couple of minutes and talk to you about their take on the markets. This is a teaser for our 7 o'clock session, which will also be broadcast World Campus as well on our YouTube channel, and then have them talk a little bit about where they get good financial information. So I'm going to start with Susan Middleton.
Hi, I'm Susan Middleton. I'm the Chief Investment Officer for Counsel Fiduciary. We're based in New York City. We're just a small firm. It's me and my partner, and I get to work from home in Waterford, which is nice. And so a little bit of my background, I have an engineering degree from the University of Michigan and a master's degree in statistics from Carnegie Mellon University. And I worked in manufacturing and plastics and, locally around here for about 20 years. And then my friend called me up and said, hey, I'm going to go out on my own and start this business and I need some help. Can you help me? And she sent me a bunch of the information, and with my math background, I was able to go through it. And I said, yeah, I can do that. I can help you out with that. So now I do the portfolio management for the firm. And I guess for a sneak peek, I guess I'll talk a little bit about inflation. This is my contrarian viewpoint. I think that we're going to see some inflation. And what that's based on, and not necessarily a lot, and not necessarily, more inflation than what the powers that be want us to have, which is 2%. But I think we're going to see more than what we have right now, which is very little. Because there's, in my opinion, there's 2 things that are pushing for inflation. And one of them I actually heard about on the radio on the way here. And that's wage inflation. And the news story that I was listening to on NPR was about how Walmart is raising their minimum wage for everyone who works for them to $10, which is granted not, some huge, great, wonderful thing, but it is substantially more than the minimum wage. And it's something that's going to be happening now. So that money's going to be out there. So that is a push on wages also, because people are less likely to leave those jobs, and it causes other businesses to have to raise their wage level. And then the other reason is a little more, I guess you'd say, wonky. And this has to do with the Federal Reserve and excess reserves. And when the Federal Reserve did all their quantitative easing, they bought up bunches and bunches of stuff. And their balance sheet is at around $4.6 trillion. Billion? Is it billions? Not trillions? Anyway, it's a lot. But it's 4.6. I know that's what the number is. So they got it up to 4.6, and it's been holding steady since October. What that means is that they're still buying things, because everything that they own, their bonds and their things that mature and go away. So they have to keep buying stuff to keep it at that same level. So they're still buying things. So it's been staying steady. But there's also the excess reserves that the banks hold with the Federal Reserve. These are excess reserves. All the banks are required to have a certain amount of reserve capital. And but a lot of them have a lot more than that. And that amount is 2.6 right now, where it was up to 2.6. But over the last couple of months, it's dropped down to 2.1. So you've got all this money on the Fed's balance sheet but the reserves that the banks are holding there are going down a little bit. So to me, that's money that's going out into the actual economy. That's money that's going out somewhere, being used somewhere, and that has a possible monetary inflation consequence. It won't necessarily happen because a lot of that other money, the difference between that 4.6 and that 2.6, that's already out there. I mean, so the velocity of money had gone down enough to make up for that, so we didn't have inflation. But there's more going out there now. And that's something that they don't have a lot of control over because those excess reserves, I mean, they can make some changes that will result in them keeping it in, but they haven't done that. And so I think that it's possible from those two separate forces that we may see some inflation. So that's my big contrarian viewpoint. I don't know if that'll really happen, but it's possible.
Where do you grab your information? How do you keep up on things? What's the best sources you think?
The best sources the ones that I like now as a portfolio manager, I'm typically saving money for people who are looking to retire. And these are people that are anywhere from 30 to maybe 50. And so they're looking at the long term. I mean, even a person that's 50 years old has maybe a 30-year, 40-year, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with the medical stuff coming up. So there's a long timeline and it's an unknown timeline. So they're looking at the long term. I'm not trading these accounts. I'm just investing, and I'm kind of a stocks for the long run kind of investor. And so the ones that I look for is I am always challenging that stocks for the long run, all of those assumptions. So I'm always looking for, okay, is there a way that I could trade that is going to be more valuable than not trading? And so I look at a website that's a guy named Doug Short has called Advisor Perspectives. And they have a lot of different kinds of research on that, also research about retirement things, and there's just a lot of resources on that one. And I guess, I mean, I use Morningstar a lot when I'm doing analysis of specific funds and investments, and that's pretty much what I do. I'm not doing a lot of trading, so I'm not spending a lot of time looking for, inside scoops on things. So.
Thank you very much. Brian Smith.
Well, first off, I just want to say that this is kind of intimidating for me. I came from the Behrend system, and but to see that I know a couple faces here, and one is Eric. And if this room is filled with a bunch of people like Eric Fry, I am totally not. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm totally someone of his intelligence level. I feel really intimidated sitting here in this room with people like him in the room. So I know Eric very well, and it's awesome to see him in here. Thanks for the opportunity to be here today. A little bit about myself, and then I'll talk a little bit about my view of the market, which please don't run out of here and do anything I tell you to do. But I'll give you my view of the market and where I get some of my information. So a little bit of background about myself. I'm a Behrend grad. I'm a coach. That's what I am. I'm a coach. I'm a life coach. I'm a personal coach. I'm a baseball coach. I'm a coach in every sense of the word. And I got into this because of my coaching background. But I was a Behrend grad, played baseball and basketball here for a number of years, and then went on to be a college baseball coach and a professional baseball scout, and I still do a lot of stuff with baseball. But I realize it's about relationships. What I do for a profession, and I manage money, it's really not about knowledge about what you know. It's really about relationships. And if you're good with relationships, and if you're good at getting in front of someone and getting them to feel that you understand them, you can be a wonderful success in what I do, and that is be a financial advisor. And so about 7 years ago, I left the coaching world as a baseball coach, and I got into personal financial planning. I worked for a company, worked there for 3 years, and then I transferred and started my own firm with a partner. Partner and I got together. And so right now we have a local firm here in Erie, Pennsylvania called Mosaic Wealth Consulting. Our broker dealer is Lincoln Financial, if any have any connections with Lincoln. So that's who I work for. And so for the last 7 years, I've been doing personal financial planning and coaching people with their money. And it is simple as I call myself an independent financial advisor or an independent advocate for someone's personal financial needs. And so as simple as creating a budget for a client to understand how much inflows and outflows they have, to be able to put that into perspective so that they can understand what they have and how they can use that to become financially independent someday in the future is what I'm passionate about. So for the last 7 years, we've been able to accumulate assets. We have over $100 million of assets here locally. So we manage between 100 and 150 million. I have 2 other partners in my practice now. We have a staff. So a lot of the stuff that Mr. Filbeck was talking about, Professor Filbeck was in regards to entrepreneurship, into the CFP exam. And if I could give this group any advice, if you would want to do something like what I do every day and make the type of money that we make, I will tell you one of my biggest regrets of graduating here from Behrend, and I sat for all of those classes that was putting up there. I sat for many of those in class, and listen, I was a baseball guy, and I thought I was going to be a millionaire playing baseball. And so school was just the means to get me to the major league level, right? And I'd come to realize about my junior year that I wasn't going to be a millionaire playing baseball, so I had to become a millionaire something else. And finance was the drug here in academics that allowed me to believe that I could be a millionaire doing something else other than pitching, throwing a baseball. And so anyways, finance intrigued me. And I took as many finance classes as a business management major here at Behrend. I took as many finance classes as I could possibly get in my time here. And I should have sat for the CFP exam, and I didn't because I wanted to be a baseball coach. And now that my career has turned around, I wish so badly that I would have sat for the CFP exam because it's a part of my designation that I now have to go back and redo all over again. And I wish I would have done it years ago. But that being said, I'll move on and transition to my view of the markets to give you a little teaser for tonight. I will tell you, this is an interesting, I could go 1,000 different directions here. So I'm just trying to figure out which direction would be best. We talked about inflation. Has anybody seen what's going on in the market so far in the first 3 weeks of this year? Right? Anybody watch what happened today? Yeah. Right? Here's an idea. If you want to be screamed at and yelled at and called on your normal work day, get into my profession. No, it's really not that bad. If you set the expectations right, you don't really get that type of stuff. But I will tell you, this is crazy times to be a financial advisor. It's crazy times. And it's always this way about every 4 years, historically. The markets go up and up and up and up, and everybody just gets the lull of valuations of stock prices going up, and then all of a sudden there's a correction, and then everybody's looking for their financial advisor and taking them out, right? So anyways, we are in what I call a typical correction. It's only down 12%. Say that to people who are investing their money with you, but historically, the last time the markets were at this level, do you know what was going on? The Ebola crisis. Now, how many of you have been affected by Ebola, right? But that was the big crisis at the time, right? And that happened, but we're here again at this level, and that was just a short-term fear of the market and end up turning to be nothing really. And this is what happens, what the market does. It goes into these little cycles. And so anyways, I am incredibly optimistic of where we're going in the market. Maybe not in 2016 and maybe not in 2017. But if you look at all the fundamentals, I'm incredibly optimistic. If I was in your shoes, I would be so thrilled to understand all of this stuff now so that I can be a great investor going forward. And the reason I'm optimistic, there's so many factors. Another one reason is because if I was pessimistic, I would have been in the mortuary school, right, putting people in the grave. But I'm a financial advisor, so I'm optimistic by nature. But there are so many things to be optimistic about. One, globally, we are still in a global growth. Even though it's very slow right now, we're in a very global growth. If you look at things that are going on in emerging markets, China, India, the amount of people who are going from a manufacturing economy to much more of a service economy, and the consumption of those countries and the people of those countries, if that takes off the way that it did in America in years past, watch out. We are all, as they consume more goods and services, all companies across the world will grow. Domestically, man, we have in the last couple of years found more energy under our feet than we know what to do with. And all of this energy craze that's going on now with oil going down to $27 a barrel. Who would have ever thought $27 a barrel was going to be where oil would be this year? That just goes to show the amount of supply that's out there. But we are going to go through an energy revolution, I believe, sometime in this country, that we're going to transition from oil-based petroleum to much more of a natural gas base, and we're going to export it. And so I'm optimistic about what energy is going to do. I think that there's sectors like the technology sector that you got to be really towards right now. I think that healthcare, with our aging population, is a place that you can find some growth in a portfolio. But for the most part, I'm optimistic because historically, the markets always grow. The markets always grow. It's capitalism. They grow. And so even though that there's a ton of fear in the marketplace, my job is to try to calm the fears with my clients. And the biggest challenge that I have in my profession, for me, is that you have clients from different understanding backgrounds of financial products. Some, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10 is a 1, and some that is a 10. And you as a financial advisor need to be able to communicate to clients on that entire spectrum, whether they know a little bit or nothing at all, or to a group like you guys, who is somewhat intimidating to stand in front, because you probably know more about analysis of stocks than I do as a financial advisor, because you guys work on it every single day. I just speak to clients and try to calm their fears. So whether you meet with somebody as a 1 or 10 on their investment knowledge level, my biggest challenge is being able to communicate to those on that level. All right, moving on. That's my little snippet about the markets and where I see it going. I think the question was, where do I get investment advice from? And one of the great things about being a financial advisor is that I have access to some of the best minds and the best financial investment minds in the country at my disposal. And so every day in inbox, if I wanted to, I could listen to someone's investment advice from BlackRock, from JP Morgan, from Hanlon, from Beaumont, from a wealth. I mean, I'm talking hundreds of different people who are managing money, from mutual fund managers to money managers to investment, big, large corporations. And so for us, it's almost so much of it that we just try to tune all of that stuff out and just try to find 1 or 2 people that we really like and just try to get the investment information for them. You know, Roger Easterling, which I'm sure that you're familiar with, you know, he's big into the cycles of the markets and wrote books called Unexpected Returns. But I will tell you, and this might get laugh out of this group, I have built my practice and my investment foundational pieces on a process that's very simple and easy to understand, and that's helped his clients from point A to point B, and it's very generic and very easy. And the gentleman's name who's created this is a gentleman by the name of Dave Ramsey. Okay, I'm not sure if anybody's heard of Dave Ramsey, but compared to this group, right? This group here is investment knowledge is probably here. Dave Ramsey speaks at this level down here, right? So, but anyways, I still believe in that core belief that keep it simple, stupid. The KISS principle is the best way to understand something as crazy as the investment world. So I get a lot of my knowledge, a lot of my foundation starts there, and then we build onto it. And I like certain money managers who I really that they invest money the way that I think. Littman Gregory from out of San Francisco manages money the way I would want to manage money if I had an investment firm. And so I gobble up a lot of that information. If I was in your shoes looking for investment advice, man, with this technologies of internet, you have access to a lot of different places. Morningstar, as she said, is a place that I go to get information on individual stock securities. It's a great place to go to maybe look up some mutual funds. But for me, I usually tend to go to the money managers that I use the most, who manage a larger portion of my money, and I would like to share some more information. So, anything else?
Any questions for either? Okay, Max, back over to you. Close it out.
Yeah. I guess thanks everybody for coming. It was, unfortunately, we couldn't have Russell speak, but I think we had a pretty good presentation on school business and got to hear a little bit from some of the panelists. Again, talk to one of us about signing up for a committee, and please sign into the sign-in sheet, and also Dr. Krause's 461 sign-up sheets up there as well. So
we head downstairs next. 7 o'clock is what time we'll be starting. There's going to be refreshments down there, and we look forward to seeing hopefully many of you down there. So.